So you want to know the difference between different kinds of yoga, right? One is you started with Iyengar yoga and Hatha yoga, Vinyasa yoga and Ashtanga yoga, Restorative yoga and Yin yoga and Kundalini yoga. So Yin yoga you don't know about. I'll just tell you maybe if I can cover it. All right. See, every yoga is just one type of yoga. Okay, Krishnamacharya, around 1930s, 20s ish, yeah. He was in Mysore and he designed this Ashtanga Vinyasa flow. Basically, all these teachers, what they did is they practiced on themselves and came up with a series, yeah, with a sequence which works. And this Ashtanga Vinyasa, Mysore Ashtanga Vinyasa sequence, is famous in KPJOI. I'll come to that. KPJOI means K Patabi Joyce. Yeah, that. Okay, I'll tell you that. It was designed for athletes and it's kind of like warriors. It's like it makes you very strong and it also is like focused a lot on breath and alignment. If you do it properly, it's focused a lot on breath also. Okay. Krishnamacharya has 3 students. What are they? Patabi Joyce, BKS Iyengar, that you must have heard, and Iyengar Yoga. Yeah, BKS Iyengar and BNS Iyengar. So all the 3 learned from Patabi Joyce. Okay. And no, all the 3 learned from T. Krishnamacharya. So Patabi Joyce obviously, then he added some more of a sequence and that is what is very famous as Ashtanga Vinyasa in Mysore, like everywhere in the teachers and everyone. But it's what happens is you do handstands, you do splits, you do Kurmasan, you do Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana is still good, and you do like Titibasan, like where you stand and then your legs go apart like. So many crazy nice looking postures are there and jump throughs are there, handstands are there and everything. So it looks really cool and a lot of people started practicing. If you do not practice with proper grounding, like see, there are grounding things like you need to engage your core in jumps. You should not jump with your hand strength alone and you should use your breath properly. You can't hold the breath, right? These mistakes even I was doing. So it started looking cool and a lot of people just started quickly wanting to learn. They started doing it and a lot of mistakes started happening. A lot of injuries also started happening because of this. So there is one bunch of people who are behind this, who are young or old also, they love it. But then there is a bunch of people who are against it because it is like injury prone thing. Yeah, okay. So this is Ashtanga, Patabi Joy's thing. And but if you learn it properly, it's not at all injury prone, but you have to be patient enough to learn it in the right way. And that we don't have patience, right? Now, BKS Iyengar also was teaching this, BNS Iyengar was also teaching this. And at some point of time in 80s, towards the end of 80s, BKS Iyengar switched, right? And he started teaching yoga as a therapy. Okay? And that is what Iyengar Yoga is. Iyengar Yoga involves a lot of props, like bolsters, chair, ropes, belts and everything. Alright? And now Hatha Yoga will come to that. Every yoga is Hatha Yoga. Okay? Vinyasa Yoga, every yoga is Hatha Yoga. When you do practice, just hold the posture, that is Hatha Yoga, and you do like it's just a posture and you come back. You come to a posture, you come back. Vinyasa is when you connect all these postures with a nice flow to it, so it becomes like a dynamic meditation. Yeah. Ashtanga Vinyasa is the Ashtanga Vinyasa. See, Ashtanga actually means 8-limbed yoga, right? Ashtanga Vinyasa is like it become popular with the Mysore style, with the Patabi Joyce thing. And it connects you with a lot of postures with jump throughs and jump backs and everything. So that is Ashtanga Vinyasa. Okay. So every yoga's basic is Hatha Yoga, and when you connect it with very like what I do in the class is Hatha Vinyasa and Hatha Yoga. Like mornings I do Hatha, a lot of breaks in between, and like everything is connected as a flow, and that is evenings I do generally, or an intense class when it becomes. Then it becomes Vinyasa, Hatha Vinyasa, and Power Yoga. You might have heard about that also. Power Yoga is where you don't really hold the posture long, you keep moving and moving. So it mostly works towards the cardio aspect. Another important aspect about Hatha Yoga is you hold the posture correct. Now let's come to the basics of Hatha Yoga even more deeper. 3 aspects. One is mounting and dismounting. That's like leave that. The alignment of the posture, the geometry has to be correct. Yeah, like when you're doing Trikonasana, the hip should not be laid back. The hip should be in line. Parshva Konasana, Trikonasana, right? And number 2 is breath. Your breath has to be stable and not like sometimes people breathe through mouth and all. It's all not okay. Yeah, it has to be breathing through right way, and core engagement and pelvic floor pulled up. So there are mostly 2 bandhas are happening all the time. Your stomach is engaged, your core is engaged. Udyan bandha is happening, Mula bandha is happening. Third is your gaze. Where you're looking, right? So first we focus on the alignment. The second we focus on the next step. See, these two can be done in simultaneously. Alignment, breath, and the bandha's engagement. These things has to be taken care of. Third, the last part is your looking at it, yeah, like where you're gazing. So this you do in every asana. This in itself is very active and engaging. So anyone who does the Ashtanga Vinyasa or Vinyasa practice also, they should begin with Hatha, and these three things has to be aligned. You're getting what I'm saying? Like alignment, the geometry, the breath has to be long and deep. If your breath is not long and deep, then we need to work on that a little bit more. We need to work on that and get it right. And not everything is fixable in one day. You just bring in more attention to it, so there is slight progress. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to Mysuru style. There is no led class. There is the sequence what is coming. So what is happening is you just do your posture one after the other based on the alignment, based on the breathing that has been taught. So every day there can be little correction done by the teacher who is looking at you, at your practice. Now, Iyengar yoga, okay, now let's say when you want to do a Nokasana like boat pose or Navasana boat pose, you need to do in the right way. Or let's do one thing, let's take Virabhadrasana. Your one leg has to be bent, the other leg has to be straight, the knee cannot be locked, your stomach has to be engaged, your hip needs to be open, your knee cannot buckle in. Maybe some of it you're not able to gather. Whatever you gather, you take it. Now what we do is, your thigh muscles are burning. When you're like in pain, when your heart rate is high, you can't focus on alignment. So what we do is we put a chair in below and we give you a rope to hold. So what happens, instead of muscle doing the work, the chair, the weight is going, gravity is doing the work. So what is happening is, a holistic muscular stability and flexibility is not happening, but alignment is fixed. When your alignment is fixed, one aspect is taken care of. So that's where it works in therapeutic way. That is what Iyengar yoga is. You use props and ropes and everything. If you see Iyengar yoga practitioners, they are like motus and they're not really like yogis, but they are very flexible. They do the alignment correctly. They hold posture long. It's, in my opinion, it's not a very holistic thing. Like all the directions you need to develop, not just 4 or like if there is 5 directions, you need to develop on all 5, not just 4, not just 3. That's why it is used as therapy purpose, and therapy means it's just for a while and then you need to switch. So you can start with maybe as a beginner, like very beginner means they can start with Iyengar yoga and then go into Hatha, then go into Hatha Vinyasa or Ashtanga Vinyasa. And Mysuru style is a way of doing, and this thing is a way of doing. Led class is a way of doing. Yeah, I think you should combine both, led class and Mysuru both. Now, what else is left? Iyengar, you're clear?
Yeah.
Iyengar, power yoga, you're clear.
Restorative.
I'll come to that. Ashtanga, you're clear. Hatha, you're clear. Vinyasa, you're clear. Now let's talk about restorative. Restorative can be done both Iyengar way or Hatha way. Restorative means you hold the posture restoratively. You don't do a lot of work. You just rest in a posture for long term. You can either use bolsters to do, or without bolsters also you do. Like bolster is like a thick pillow kind of a thing, just there. Like in my class, it's there. Let's say when you're doing Ekapadaraj, Kapotasana, you can just, instead of, if you just stay in the posture, you can't stay too long. If you use bolsters and blocks and everything, prop yourself up, you can stay longer. It'll be therapeutic. It'll be very relaxing. It'll restore you, right? It's just in one dimension. It's even easier than a regular Iyengar yoga, Now, what else? Kundalini yoga. Kundalini is obviously, it's about energy rising. It works on your energy. It involves a lot of breath and stuff, and I would really recommend anyone practice Kundalini with a master who has gone through it enough, because a lot of things will shift as your energy raises through your chakras, right? And it will really, people have even gone crazy, they say. So you'll have to be like, if energy is coming up, if shit is coming up, you should be able to handle it, or someone who knows shit should be able to handle it. Like for example, let's say someone is drinking for the first time, you're introducing your friend to the alcohol. Someone who is drank enough knows the shit they are going through, they'll take care. If someone goes on their own, like binge drinks and pukes and all, they'll like get panicked and stuff. So it's stuff like that. You're playing with kind of fire. So that is Kundalini yoga.
So is it more spiritual?
Everything is spiritual.
No, I mean,
I know what you mean.
It works on your spiritual levels more.
That's what it is. It's more on the energies directly, on the pranayama.
Energies.
So what people think is they'll just do the Kundalini yoga because they want it to be more spiritual. No, asana practice helps you in grounding yourself. You need to be grounded to be able to handle the energies. Yeah, and a lot of people only want only physical aspect. They don't want spiritual, but that is also not a very holistic way. Yoga can be a lot deeper. This is the difference between Hatha, Ashtanga, and Vinyasa, and all those types. See, everything, the basic is very important. The alignment, the breathing, the engagement of the right muscles. Right. I personally like Hatha and Ashtanga and not Iyengar style because I don't have anything to help me. I'll just have to use, like, my muscle will have to get there. Let them take their own time. Maybe I'm not aligned in Trikonasana, but I'm getting there slowly. I'm not forcing myself, and maybe I'm not able to do Shirsasana. Maybe I'm able to do only halfway through, but I'll get to the right place. But what I'll do is I'll create stability in the process. But if always there is someone, like you're learning bicycle, you always have some things to, like those helping wheels. You'll never get to that place immediately. Like, there won't be a proper learning. There won't be proper stability. You'll always need something to help you. You'll be crippled always. That's what I feel. Yeah. So you can use it as a therapy, but not like full-fledged.
So, if it is Kundalini yoga, is it more of meditation or there is yoga and exercise involved in
I
that?
shouldn't talk about Kundalini yoga much because I don't know anything
Okay,
beyond it.
Oh, that's fine.
On the other things, you have any question, I can answer.
What is yin yoga?
Yin yoga is a little more on the restorative side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And another question I had is, is power yoga and Ashtanga Vinyasa same? Because
It can be, it cannot be, but Ashtanga. The question is Ashtanga, Vinyasa, and Power Yoga are the same. In Ashtanga Vinyasa, it's built up from Hatha, right? Which means you need to focus on alignment. You need to focus on breath. In Power Yoga, you don't hold the posture long. You just keep moving and moving and moving.
But that's what we do in Vinyasa, Ashtanga Vinyasa also.
But we
right?
hold the posture.
Oh, we do.
We hold it longer. In Ashtanga, proper Ashtanga Vinyasa practice or Vinyasa practice, you need to hold the posture longer, 5 breaths, which means about 30 seconds to begin with, or 1 minute. In the beginning, it's easy. You start doing Virabhadrasana A, Virabhadrasana B, Virabhadrasana C. You can't hold for 5 seconds also if you did 30 seconds of these. So when you're flowing one to other, but if you're not holding longer, then you can just flow 5 seconds, then 5 seconds, then 5 seconds. You would have created sweat, but you wouldn't have gotten deep into the practice. Yeah, does it answer?
Yeah.
All right.